When I was a young boy, my father told me about Victor Valdez, and that he was a beast. But unfortunately, I grew up in an era with Marc-Andre Stegen, and holy shit, he stinks. Like, what the fuck? How do you let that in, you bum? You're such a bum. How do you do that? How, mother? But thank God, HANSI Flick, he joined us and told all Barcelona believers to believe once again. Yeah. Because, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I recognize my club again. Finally, I can say that I trust them. Now they are making the right decisions, and as a fan base, we can only think one person, and one person only, and that is Don HANSI Flick. What HANSI Flick has been able to achieve in only one season, with only one signing, has been nothing but incredible. He has gained the trust from the players, from the fans, from the board members, to the point where if he says he needs a new striker, you get him a new striker. If he needs a new midfielder, you get him a new midfielder. If he needs a new goalkeeper, you get him a new goalkeeper. And that is exactly what has happened, ladies and gentlemen. Barcelona has secured the signing of Joan Garcia, the 24-year-old young talented goalkeeper from Espanyol, on a 5-year deal. Ultimately meaning that Marc-Andre ter Stegen's time at Barcelona is over. As a fan base now, we can all agree that ter Stegen's time at Barcelona is done. It's been long overdue that we needed to get rid of this guy. Like, this guy just doesn't give us the confidence we need to compete in the highest level throughout a whole season, especially come up in big moments, in clutch moments where we need our goalkeeper to save us. He's just not that guy anymore. He used to be that guy. Like, looking back in the 22-23 season with Xavi, he had an incredible season where he came up clutch in many moments, had made world-class saves throughout that season, practically helped us and saved us in many moments to actually win that league title under Xavi. But since then, he's gone downhill. We can't consider him one of the best goalkeepers in the world like we considered him at that time. You know, we can't compare him to the Thibaut Courtois of the world, the Alissons of the world, even the Donnarummas of the world. Like, looking into Donnarumma, before this season, Donnarumma was not considered world-class because he had many moments since joining PSG where he looked like a bum. Like, he didn't step up in the moments where they needed him to step up. But this was his breakthrough season where he massively stepped up. He saved them countless times, especially in that semifinal against Arsenal, world-class saves. And in the final, I mean, he really didn't have to do much in the final, but besides that, it's just a point of how well he's played throughout the whole tournament and led them to become champions for the first time ever. But ter Stegen just doesn't give us that confidence. Like, we need our goalkeeper to be the last man to save us when we need to be saved, because every game won't be perfect. We will get exposed in occasions, especially with the way that Barcelona play with the high line. You know, it's a high risk, high reward kind of system, but the risk is very evident. So we need our goalkeeper to be that guy to save us, and we know in those one-on-one situations and those pressured situations, ter Stegen just doesn't step up. Like, our biggest rivals, Real Madrid, are the best example. How many times has Thibaut Courtois saved them? How many times have he saved them from being embarrassed, where they're in the back foot, they're getting cooked, the other team is all over them, but Thibaut Courtois just steps up. He always steps up. How many times? Like, the best example is against Liverpool in the final, where he had a man-of-the-match performance. When your goalkeeper gets a man-of-the-match performance, that ultimately means that your team was playing like dog shit, especially your defense, and your goalkeeper saved you. We can never say the same with ter Stegen. If we put ter Stegen in that situation, oof, 7 easily. 7 easily. We already got destroyed 8-2 by Bayern Munich. I don't even want to imagine in a final. You know, ter Stegen just doesn't have that clutch gene in him to save us when we need to be saved. I actually find it very interesting that Barcelona took the initiative to go out and sign Joan Garcia, because this news has been coming out for weeks now that, oh, he's going to come to Barcelona, he might go to Newcastle, you know, other clubs are interested in him. And the fact that Barcelona went all out for him, you know, practically means that they want ter Stegen out, because Joan Garcia, ultimately, it came down to his own decision of which team he wanted to join. And one thing he definitely wanted to be assured of is that he will be joining a team where he will be the first guy, you know, the first team goalkeeper. He won't be on the bench, he won't be the second guy, and he won't be loaned out. He wants to be the first guy. So the fact that Barcelona have gone through with this agreement practically means that they've assured him, hey, you're going to come and be the first team goalkeeper. You're not going to be on the bench, you're not going to be loaned out, you're going to be the main guy. Meaning that ter Stegen has to go, because ter Stegen, 100% know he will never agree to being the second guy. You know, throughout this whole saga of Joan Garcia coming to Barcelona, when the rumors started to initially come out, Another thing that came out, if you're not aware, was this Ter Stegen out movement that was happening on Twitter. A hashtag Ter Stegen out, where it went pretty viral. You know, it went #1 trending on sports section of Twitter. And a lot of fans just expressing how much they dislike Ter Stegen, that they don't want him in the club anymore. Fans making compilations of every error he's made throughout his Barcelona career, every goal he's conceded. And honestly, when you look at that video, you just think, wow, I can't believe he's actually lasted this long. It's gotten so big to the point where even news medias are covering it. And you know for a fact, when they start covering it, then every single player in the club, the board members, the president, HANSI Flick, and Ter Stegen himself have 100% seen it. It's pretty clear that the fan base has completely turned on Ter Stegen. They don't want him at the club anymore. So what's the point of him staying, right? Why would he want to put that pressure on himself? Because if he decides to stay, because ultimately he still has a contract until 2028, so the decision is going to be up to him. If he decides to stay, if he decides to say to the whole world, hey, I'm going to prove you guys wrong, I still have the level and I want to show it, well, get ready to be killed, because at that point, every single fan will be looking at every single fine detail mistake that you make in every single game. If you breathe the wrong way, you're getting cooked for it. If you look at a player the wrong way, if you make a wrong pass, if you take a bad touch, you're getting cooked for it. I'm telling you right now, they're going to be hour compilations of every single bad mistake you've made coming back into the season, because the fans have turned on you. You know, there's no coming back from this. They don't want you at the club anymore. So why do that to yourself? You know, I genuinely feel bad for Ter Stegen, because getting millions upon millions of people that don't even know you to hate on you like this, you know, to torment you like this and make fun of you, you know, it sucks for sure. It would suck for anyone. It would happen to you. If it would happen to me, it would definitely suck. It will definitely affect the mental for sure. But you know, we can never judge Ter Stegen for the person that he is. We can only judge him for the player that he is, the goalkeeper that he is, which is not good enough to be playing for Barcelona anymore. So, you know, just leave. Like, there's no point of you staying, because, again, the fan base has just turned on you. Why do you want to get whistled at every time you touch the ball? Why do you want to just feed onto this, you know, torment that you're going to continue getting throughout the whole season if you decide to stay? Anytime the camera angle's on you, guess what? The fans are going to boo you, because they don't want you at the club anymore. I've seen it done to other club legends like Gerard Piqué. So what makes you think it won't happen to you too? You know, one argument that could probably be had for Ter Stegen is the fact that he's missed the whole season. We don't know what could have happened if he played under HANSI Flick, because HANSI Flick this season has improved other players like Rafinha, Inigo Martinez, Lewandowski. That's true. But when it comes to a goalkeeper, it's a whole different situation. Like, he can't improve Ter Stegen. You know, he has his own coach for that, where we have to definitely be sus about that goalkeeping coach, because he's been at the club for well over a decade now, and I don't know, Ter Stegen has been going downhill since he joined Barcelona, but so we definitely got to be sus about him. But HANSI Flick can improve Ter Stegen. The only thing he can give him is instructions, but as a goalkeeper, to help him out, you know, improve his reflexes, improve his mentality, improve his, you know, I don't know, confidence, he can't provide that to Ter Stegen. That's the goalkeeper's coach's job. So he can't improve under HANSI Flick. There's nothing he can do under HANSI Flick that will change our minds. The only way he could ever come back from this is if he turns into prime Neuer, coming back into the season and just completely proves us wrong. But that's just not happening, because Joan Garcia coming in completely means that Ter Stegen's time at Barcelona is over. Barcelona already been going with talks with Szczesny to extend it for 1 more year. So that ultimately means that he's going to be the second choice goalkeeper. So if Ter Stegen decides to stay for some reason, then he's going to be third choice. So why do that to yourself? I just hope that this doesn't turn into a whole drama show trying to get rid of Ter Stegen, because one thing that we can definitely use as a bargaining chip is the World Cup is around the corner. You know, Ter Stegen has been waiting his whole career to finally be the first team goalkeeper for Germany, because Neuer's always been in the way. Now that Neuer's out the way, it's Ter Stegen's time to shine. So we can use it as a bargaining chip, telling him, hey, you're not going to be the first guy anymore for this team. Joan Garcia's coming in, he's going to be number 1. Szczesny's going to stay, he's going to be number 2. You're going to be at best number 3. And we all know, as much as Nagelsmann knows, as much as Ter Stegen knows, that if he wants to prepare for this World Cup, he needs to be playing consistently, especially at a high level. So the best choice is to leave. You know, don't make it difficult. I know he's already come out and said, I know I'll be at Barcelona next year. I want to stay at Barcelona. I understand that, but I think it's more of a PR thing rather than, you know, actually meaning it, because if Barcelona have gotten this far, it means that they forcefully are going to have him kicked out of the club. Again, we can appreciate what Ter Stegen has done for us. He's definitely had some great moments, but it's gotten to the point where we just don't have confidence anymore, because we know we have a great group of players that can compete against any side in Europe. We can compete at the highest level, win every single competition like we already did this season. The only thing that was missing, it was the Champions League. But we have a young squad with a strong core, with experienced players that can compete against any side. But the one missing part has always been the goalkeeper, to save us when we needed to be saved. now Joan Garcia coming in, hopefully he can be that missing piece that we've been, waiting for. But Ter Stegen is just not that guy. Szczesny came in and did a great job as well, but he also has some moments where he just doesn't give us confidence either. But the fact is that Ter Stegen, he just isn't that guy anymore. Like, I don't think he's ever been that guy besides the 22-23 season. Even look back in that campaign for the Champions League and the Europa League, it wasn't like he was saving us countless times either. But it's just the fact that Ter Stegen, his time is done. Joan Garcia is a new era. Hopefully he comes in great. We don't know, because honestly, looking into this signing, I think it is going to be more of a, make it or break it kind of signing. I don't think it's going to be a 100% guarantee signing that he will come in and be a world-class goalkeeper for us. Joan Garcia just came for an amazing season with Espanyol. He has some great stats. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the best, considering the stats that he's put up. And he just helped Espanyol stay up in the league as well. In the last day, he came up clutch with them and made some great saves. And that's ultimately where we got that, amazing picture of him getting lifted up by the players and the fans, because they were praising him of that great performance that he put up. He has some great qualities in him. He has great shot stopping, awareness, reflexes, reactions, confidence. Confidence is the main thing that a Barcelona goalkeeper definitely needs, because the way that we play, we need a confident goalkeeper. He's making a big leap forward joining Barcelona, because it's a different type of pressure, a different type of, competitiveness. So we're going to see how he adapts. Hopefully he adapts well, because, he's Spanish, so he can get along with the Spanish players quite easily. Everyone speaks Spanish, so it could be a quite easy transition for him to get comfortable with the team. Now, playing at the highest level, that's the real test. This isn't like how Real Madrid signed Thibaut Courtois. With Thibaut Courtois, they were guaranteed a great goalkeeper because he's already been playing at the highest level for many years, with Atletico Madrid and with Chelsea. This is more of how Liverpool signed Alisson. They signed him from Roma, a goalkeeper from Roma who was doing very well. He was showing high level, but now he needed to show it at the bigger stage, at a bigger club with more pressure for sure. And, look what Alisson turned out to be. Hopefully, Joan Garcia can be that guy for us. He needs that experience. He definitely needs, that game time in the high level against the better teams for sure. So we're going to see how he comes in for us. But, Szczesny being his backup is great as well, because Szczesny has the experience. He's played at the high level for many years. So, he can be that player to give him, more mentor, give him, be that mentor for him and give him more confidence, help him out wherever he needs help with, right? And Joan Garcia, he has a lot of potential, but we'll see how he turns out. We're going to see in the first couple games in the league how he does, can really be that guy for Barcelona for the future, right? Because with preseason, it doesn't really matter. Preseason, we're playing in Asia, so it's not like we're going to compete at the high level, but, we're going to see how he performs during the league when it starts. Not talking about the other goalkeepers that we have, like Iñaki Peña. Iñaki Peña is someone we definitely have to get rid of. I haven't been seeing any news as of late of us getting rid of Iñaki Peña. I don't know why, but he's definitely someone that has to go, because at this point, he's going to be third choice goalkeeper. So, what's the point? He doesn't have the level to play Barcelona. He's never going to be the first guy, so he just has to go. Again, with Szczesny, we're coming to an agreement with him to hopefully keep him for one more season, and that'd be great, because then that'd be Ter Stegen. That means Ter Stegen has to go. Like, there's no point of him staying, because he won't be the third choice goalkeeper. There's just no way he'll accept that. But yeah, we're going to see how Barcelona handles this whole situation. Hopefully, again, it just doesn't turn into a whole difficult situation where we're going to have a whole drama show, a whole, things coming back and forth between Ter Stegen's camp and Barcelona. Like, hopefully it just turns out well. Hopefully we won't be too stressed about this whole situation. But yeah, let me know what you think about the video down in the comments below, what you thought about this whole transfer between Joan Garcia and Barcelona. Are you happy with it? Are you disappointed that Ter Stegen's leaving? If you are, unsubscribe, never watch again. I'm kidding. Have your own opinion if you want. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this whole saga of Joan Garcia coming to Barcelona. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for every time we upload. Share to your friends who love football, and I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that is. Take care, much love, and peace.